4 readers, 1 bike, and a week full of thrilling riding. This is the Cycle World Honda NC700X Adventure Challenge.
All right, and we're live.
All right.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Great.
Doing good.
Fantastic. Great. Well, my name's Rania, co-host of MotoChat. Welcome to the Cycle World Adventure Challenge number 3 this week for the NC700X. I have here my co-host Jay. Say hello.
Howdy, everybody. Jay Brandon.
And everybody else, let's say Patrick, go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Pat Flynn from SoCal.
Yeah, it's James Pratt. I'm from Oklahoma. Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma.
That's right.
Good time.
All you West Coast people.
Well, awesome. So we've been fiddling around with this thing for a while, and we think we've got it to work, but we won't know until we know, so it's all good. So the reason we're here is that, as Rania mentioned, she and I co-host a Twitter chat every Wednesday at 1 o'clock Pacific time, a 1-hour chat called MotoChat. We have a pretty cool audience there that we're pretty fond of, and I was very fortunate that I got invited to ride in a Cycle World and Honda event very recently called the Cycle World Honda NC700X Adventure Challenge, where they took 4 Cycle World readers and they put us up in some very, very nice hotels in Southern California, gave us some motorcycles to ride around with, and it was fun. So I got to hang out with some very cool guys, and 2 of those guys are here. So James Pratt and Pat Flynn were 2 of the other riders in that event.
We're the cool guys.
Right.
The other guys out here.
I think there's a very different perspective from Oklahoma on exactly what the definition of that word is, James. I don't know. Anyway, we had fun. It was great. I think we're probably going to stay in touch for a long time. Pretty good bunch of guys. We had fun. The magazine and Honda treated us like kings. It was one of the best experiences of my entire life.
Yeah, except I saw that video. Was it you that posted that video of them doing that burnouts and everything on the NC700X over in Europe?
No, I don't think that's possible. I think you're the only guy in history of the world that's ever done a burnout on an NC700X. I don't know.
No,
James.
I thought you posted that today.
I did. Yeah, that was me. I sent that to you guys.
Huh?
That was the NC700S.
Yeah.
That was a model they didn't have out here.
Yeah.
That's for supercharged.
That's the one with horsepower.
Yeah.
I could do that,
Pretty
slide
sweet
and do
video.
all that kind of stuff. They just wouldn't let us.
So we rode
Go ahead.
motorcycles in Southern California for a few days and had a great time and got to really learn about this new motorcycle. And there was a video crew following us around the whole time, shooting a bunch of videos, and then they went into their secret video editing cave for a few weeks and have been releasing 1 video a week. So we're up to number 3, came out yesterday. The first one, originally there was a few 15-second teasers. There was one for the overall event, and each of us got our own. We put up on our Facebook pages. There's a big competition. And I heard that the prize in that is world domination for a year. So you get to make all the decisions anywhere in the world for the next year if you win that. Just for the record, I'm currently in the lead on that one. So get ready. And
Jay's taking over the world.
yeah, pretty much. It's beer for everyone. Just don't worry about it. I'll take care of you guys. It'll be fine.
It's only going to be for the next 2 weeks.
As long as we're covered.
Yeah. You got it on the right plane. It's fine. It's all good. And so those teasers were released some weeks ago, and then the first one came out 3 weeks ago yesterday, and that was the first challenge. The whole event is a series of challenges. The first one was what was the first one, guys? It was the mileage challenge. So the bike is known for getting really, really good gas mileage, and we were supposed to kind of try that out and see how it worked, and I was pretty impressed. The 4 of us worked fairly hard to get good fuel mileage on this bike, and I think the worst of us got well into the 70s, like what, 72 or 73 miles a gallon, something like that, guys?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Pat, you kicked the snot out of the rest of us on that one, and what did you get?
84.
84 miles a gallon on a 670cc bike that weighs almost 500 pounds. That's pretty amazing. And then the next one is James's favorite challenge. It really got a chance to show off his culinary skills and tell the world that his wife likes peaches.
I would show you what I think about it, but you just take this one and that one, get rid of them, and you'll be.
So the bike's got this integrated storage compartment where the fuel tank you would expect it to be on a motorcycle. That thing holds 21 liters, which is plenty big enough to hold a full face helmet. And we had to buy dinner for two, not spend more than $50, have a creative dinner, and stuff it into that thing, and then go to a restaurant and have a chef sort of critique our ideas.
They didn't tell us before the challenge that we were supposed to know how to cook.
The instruction packet I got, which apparently they don't deliver mail in Oklahoma. I guess you didn't get that, James, but the rest of us were not surprised by this. I don't know why you were.
Yeah, they told us we couldn't wheelie and power slide and ride in the dirt.
So you quit reading at that point?
Yeah, I know it.
He skimmed through the contract. He was looking for dirt, track.
They did treat us very nice. Well, that was nice. They did treat us like kings.
So James, what were you going to prepare for dinner in the shopping challenge?
God, I can't remember. I can't cook. So I mean, for me,
peaches is all I remember.
That's all I remember too. Peaches.
That's what we've been calling you since then.
I don't even like peaches. My wife does.
Oh, okay. Pat, what was your menu?
Oh man, it was let's see, heirloom tomatoes on a baguette with hand pressed olive oil and basil. Wow. Then I had steak medallions with seared scallops on top of that, asparagus spears, gourmet chocolate, and port for a dessert.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. The chocolate that Billy.
So I feel a little shortchanged on that. They completely edited out my dessert. My dessert was fried Mexican chocolate bananas, which I thought was pretty creative. The chef, when I talked to him, he thought it was kind of cool. He might have just been being nice to me. I don't know, because the essence of Western manhood didn't tell him to be mean to me as he did to some of you guys.
I'm taking shit for all my riding buddies, man. They're giving me a hard time.
Is that because your buddies live in Oklahoma, right?
No, it's because they ride dirt and they ride off
road. Okay. All right.
Well, did you get any clout back with this third challenge?
And so
a little bit, because Charlie. I told him Charlie was it Charlie? Was it?
Yeah.
The chief. Yeah, he was pretty.
Charlie
cool.
Beck.
Yeah, he was cool.
So Pat, who won the shopping challenge, Pat?
That was me.
Really? And what was the secret to your success? Was that I believe you had somebody on the phone who was coaching you, as I remember it.
That is not correct. No. My wife is a chef, so that helped. But I mean, I think I really got lucky that I just thought it was a seafood restaurant, so I chose something with seafood. And like the chef said, the thing that made my meal stand out was that I had an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert. Really, I mean, I think that's really the big difference.
And he didn't like peaches.
Course meal.
Yeah, he hates peaches. There's a big sign out front that says "No peaches" with the red slash on it. You didn't see that?
He does not like Aunt Jemima's syrup, apparently.
No, he hates Aunt Jemima.
That is not an accessory that comes with the NC700X.
Yeah. No, there's no Aunt Jemima syrup leader on the bike.
On to the slightly better stuff. Except that you guys got the sucky job on that one. I kind of lucked out, but I still lost. But
on which one was this?
Number 3.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys got hosed on that one.
So for the commuter challenge, right, we supposedly drew straws to see what we, our mode of transportation for the day.
I'm thinking there's no straws.
I have to say, since I got first place to the first 2 challenges, that it was no real coincidence that I was driving a car in LA traffic.
You drew the short straw, man. That's how it works.
I guess so.
That car was totally you, though. You fit perfectly in that car.
With that really trying to
passenger, but it was you.
Not for the record, all 5 of us fit in that damn car.
I mean, to be fair, it's a decent car. I wouldn't buy it myself, but it was fine to drive. It wasn't a horrible vehicle. I would much rather be on a motorcycle. I came home today from LA area on my bike. It took me 35 minutes in rush hour traffic because I was lane sharing and just bonzing down the fast lane, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Love it.
James, how'd you like riding the bike in the commute challenge?
It was good, except it was, they wouldn't let us lane split or anything, so that kind of sucked. But we had to follow everybody. So, I mean, it's all right. It's better, most definitely better than driving the car or the train, without a doubt.
James, are you guys allowed to lane split or lane share?
No.
What's the ticket for that?
I don't know. They give you reckless driving, and it'd be a bunch, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I think California is the only place in the country where you're allowed to lane split, right?
I feel like there's one other one.
Knowledge.
Yeah.
Well, the guy, cop in California told me it's not lane splitting, it's lane sharing.
Yeah, that's a technical term.
So
Yeah.
I mean, you can still get a ticket for like weaving like an a-hole, you know, and being reckless. They can still give you a reckless ticket.
Yeah.
You're allowed to go between the cars, but typically, you know, try and still be safe and not completely out of control.
Pat, isn't there something in the DMV handbook about the speed differential? I mean, you can't be going 100 miles an hour when the traffic's going 5, right?
Well, no, I mean, theoretically, you're still supposed to follow the speed limits. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if traffic's going, like, let's say you're on the freeway, speed limit 65, traffic's going 5 miles an hour. I don't know if you're really technically allowed to be ripping through at 65.
Yeah.
That's my understanding. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the rule is, so I don't know how they enforce it. I live in Nevada where we don't have lane sharing, but also there's no freeways where I live. We don't have congestion here. So I mean, it's a totally foreign concept to me.
Yeah. Well, the idea of not being able to lane share, I mean, I would lose my mind now because, I mean, it's second nature to me. If you were to put me in another state and tell me I couldn't, I'd probably lose my license.
I think part of it, too, is the drivers out in California, they expect it, and they're used to it, and it's no big
Yeah, that's
deal.
true.
Here, everybody gets pissed off at you because they think you're cutting to the front of the lane, you know?
Well, personally, I've never seen that many lanes on a highway except for in California.
Well,
I mean, I'm from Pennsylvania. Everything is 2 lanes heading north or south or east or west. That's it. And most of all the other roads are 1 lane heading either way. That's it.
Yeah, when Chicago or New York or Dallas, Dallas has them.
Pat, have you ever had any car drivers in sort of rude behavior when you're splitting lanes?
Oh, yeah, a lot, actually. I mean, I've had guys open their doors. I've had guys that will pull in, like, right between and block the double yellow. I've had people try and kind of drive me into the wall or not let me get out. Yeah, I mean, they don't like it. A lot of people don't, you know? Same deal. It's like they're sitting in traffic for 2 hours, and I'm just whizzing past them, and they're like, you know, screw this guy, and you got to be careful. You know, I've just gotten really good at reading, you know, body language, watching cars, and I can tell. I can tell from 100 yards away if someone's texting. You know, like I've just gotten so in tune with. It's maybe a better driver also, but you know, you just have to watch for like the slightest little movement, and you know, when the lanes break and people are actually allowed to get in and out, I try not to lane share. I pull behind a car and kind of go straight. And, you know, you just got to really be on your guard.
Yeah.
I saw a survey recently that they surveyed drivers in California, and I don't have the accurate number, but it was something on the order of like 40%, maybe 45% thought that lane sharing in California was illegal, and something like 10% knew it was legal and thought it shouldn't be, and admitted to actually trying to make it difficult for motorcyclists.
Yeah,
I was flabbergasted by those figures.
Well, I mean, I think I shared with you guys privately. Like, I mean, I Supermaned and belly flopped on the freeway going to work about a year ago. Guy cut me off. He didn't even see what he was doing and pulled out of my way, and I hit the gravel and just Supermaned. It was pretty scary. You know,
what kind of gear were you wearing, Pat?
I was going to work. I was wearing leather, like work shoes, jeans, and like a thick leather motorcycle jacket, helmet, gloves. I cut my stomach a little bit. My jacket pulled up. You could see all the back when I used to have a cell phone with buttons on it. You could see the actual buttons through my leather jacket.
Wow!
I mean, it was scary. It ripped my sleeve. I had like one of the jackets with a zipper here. Ripped that sleeve open, and I limped to work with a broken peg. And you know, kind of, I had a clip on handlebars. And one was like this way. I was driving like.
Wow.
Made it to work.
Still rode it. Oh wow!
I rode home without a peg. I like stuffed my heel like on the frame rail and just limped it home.
Which side? Without a peg? Which side?
I snapped the peg. Snapped the peg. I broke my lever and I kind of just put it in second and cruised home on the freeway.
Wow. You are hardcore.
It's just, I mean, it really is. It's part of SoCal. It's just like I've been in tons of like car accidents. We're just got more traffic. We got more people, more idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah, around here, the idiots are the ones like me that says, "Hey, watch this," and then we crash our brains out.
Yeah, we do that too.
Wow.
So on to the deal. The challenge, the commuter challenge for us was pretty straightforward. We could have got there a lot sooner though, because we had to follow the chase van. So that kind of slowed us down a little bit.
What was your actual time, James?
Oh, I have no idea. I didn't.
It was like an hour and a half or something, hour and 15, I think.
Hour 15. You were an hour and a half.
Yeah, you were an hour and a half, and then Pat was 2 hours, over 2 hours.
2 and some change, yeah.
Yeah, 2 and some change.
Yeah, we could have got there a lot sooner if they let us.
I wish the guys showed in the video, though. There was a part where I like genuinely was freaking out. I wanted to win this thing, and I'm sitting in traffic. I turned on this punk music. I was like slamming the steering wheel and swerving the car. I wish they would have shown. I was hoping they'd show at least like a half a second of me losing it.
They're pretty conservative.
Yeah.
The bloopers video.
So James, you guys were in the carpool lane following the chase van. Who was driving that? Was that Janelle?
Yeah, Janelle was there for some, and then we had the video crew in front of us a lot, and then we had to stay behind. Mr. Essence.
Right.
Yeah, so we couldn't really just blast through like you normally would, like Pat would.
I rode in the van on the freeways with Janelle a couple times, and she's not a timid driver by any stretch of the imagination.
We didn't have a traffic jam, but if we'd have been able to lane share, we'd have been there in probably a fourth of the time what it took us.
Yeah, I can understand why they didn't want you to, though. I mean, this is the whole audience for this project is a national audience, and if California is the only place in the country where you can split lanes, then it kind of I could see why they said none of that. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
So how was your experience, Jay, having to take public transportation? I mean, I don't think you do that in Nevada, do you?
No,
not often at least.
But we don't need it here. I mean, I walk out my door and I'm anywhere I need to be pretty much because I don't need to go anywhere. But I felt fortunate to be chosen to train. I like public transit. When I lived in urban areas, I lived in Silicon Valley for many, many years. For a lot of years, I didn't own a car. I used public transit or walked or rode my bike. Actually, a long time ago, I used to work in public transit, sort of helping companies set up their commute alternative programs to get their employees into carpools and how to figure out how to ride your bike to work and that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty familiar with that. I actually I'm sort of a public transit advocate. It doesn't make sense in rural areas where I live. It probably doesn't make sense in most of Oklahoma. But in congested cities, if you don't have public transit, it's a big problem.
Yeah, just New York City, man. I love it up there.
Yeah, exactly. And I was a little. I mean, that was that our second or third day on the bikes? I don't remember, but I was a little concerned about going into the thing. I knew there was going to be a commute challenge. And as I think I told you guys, and I think I mentioned on camera even once, that was a huge stretch of my own personal comfort zone to ride motorcycles on the freeway in LA commute traffic. I mean, I'm comfortable doing it now, but going into it, I was thinking, man, this is just, I'm not used to this. It's just, this could go really, really bad, not just for me, but for a lot of people.
Now, I wish I would have had the DTC that day, because I don't like those things.
Yeah.
But that would have been nice because, I had to ride the damn clutch. You're doing 2 miles an hour. You pull up, stop, pull up, stop, pull up, stop, and you're working that clutch the whole time. And
yeah, I think for the bikes, the DCT is the sweet spot in commuting, and that's a big part of the market for this bike.
Yeah.
But I liked riding the train. It was great. Everybody was making fun of me, but it's an easy stroll from Cycle World's office. I think we walked 15 or 20 minutes, so it's about a mile to the train station. And I'm drinking a coffee and eating a bagel, and I'm doing my email and stuff on the phone. It was great, chatting with Tonya and the video guy and everything, and no big deal. And then I have never been to downtown LA before. I knew that we were going to Union Station, this historic building in the oldest part of LA, and I was kind of looking forward to that. It was really cool. So I enjoyed it. Nice stroll to the park. I got there and nobody else was around, so for the first 5 or 10 minutes I thought I had won because you guys, James and John, had already been there and gone off and gotten biscuits and gravy somewhere down the street or something. I don't know. And I knew Pat was probably still stuck in traffic 5 miles from where he started, so I knew he wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
So for a while I thought I had won, and then I found out that I had.
Well, most definitely the highlight of the trip was seeing Charlie's deal.
Oh, that was awesome.
Great.
Yeah, that was the best thing of the whole day.
I didn't see in the video, did they publish our stress results?
They did not.
They did not.
No.
Okay.
And I thought that'd be great TV, Pat, because I knew you'd be all completely wigged out, and I was making an effort to be relaxed. And I thought, my pulse is going to be like 5.
Yeah, I thought I might probably blew the machine up. I was ready to punch somebody. I was so angry, and I was angry at Garrett for putting me in that car. I was like, ah. Yeah, that was frustrating.
Yeah, meeting Chief Charlie Beck, that was pretty awesome. You know, in the materials they gave us for the thing, it was, you know, they said, you know, you're going to meet the chief, and I thought, well, okay, you know, is that like 5 minutes? Hi, how you doing? Handshake, and we're gone. And I didn't quite get the connection because I didn't know he was such a big motorcyclist. And he's not only a really strong motorcycle enthusiast and advocate, he's a genuinely nice guy. He's the kind of guy you'd want to have a beer with, you know. And it was that might have been the highlight of the whole thing for me. He just, the guys, it was awesome.
You'd want to smoke a joint on a trail with him, huh?
Off the record. But I don't think that even Cycle World anticipated he was going to spend that much time with us. You know, like, I mean, obviously stuff could happen. He could get pulled away at a moment's notice. But I think everyone was kind of surprised that he actually sat down and ate lunch and just hung. Like, and yeah, what an awesome guy. Like, I want to go dirt riding with him and go out some trails and fire some guns and be just men, you know, like wrestle a bear.
I'm trying to get him to come up to Tahoe and ride with us. He and I talked about that, and he said, I love Tahoe. I'd come up there. And so, Chief, if you're watching this, you got an open invitation, and we'll put you up in a nice hotel, and you can come ride bikes with us. Yeah.
Brandy and cigars, too.
No, that could happen.
If you want to do some kick-ass off-road riding, we got the place. We got some of the best off-road riding in the entire United States right here in Oklahoma.
I might come out, James.
Huh?
Where do you go, James? Where do you like to ride close to home?
Southeast Oklahoma is just full of mountains, and it's all timberland. It's owned by Weyerhaeuser and John Hancock Timber, and you can literally ride 100. I've ridden down there 10 years, and I go down there about once or twice a year, and every single year I ride trails I've never been on.
Really?
Wow.
Single track, two track. Yeah, we ride about 100, 120 mile loops a day. Yeah, they're awesome.
Are there tracks out there too, like motocross?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of motocross tracks here, but you know, we don't do that. We ride these logging roads. You can just jump on them, and you can ride for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles all day long on these huge logging roads, or you can go down these. I mean, sometimes they're overgrown. They're down to two-track stuff or single track. So you'd be amazed. The area we ride in is larger than the state of Rhode Island.
Wow.
That's our riding area. It's just huge, and it's unlike, you know, California's got some good riding areas too, but they're more like desert and Mojave and stuff, and ours is more just really cut with mountains and trails and up and down the hills and rocks, and you gotta like rocks because there's a lot of rocks.
Yeah, I mean, SoCal, there's tons of desert and sand. We've got like the famous places, Glamis and Pismo Beach. You know, all the you know, kind of freestyle jumpers. You know, go peak to peak. Lots of trails, but I mean, I grew up doing tracks, so like I just knew where all the tracks were and go ride that.
Yeah, we got a few tracks around here, but I never have been a big motocross rider per se.
James, you said that area. James, where you ride, you said that area is actually owned by the timber company. Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That just amazes me. I mean, we have out west out here, we have tons of public land. You know, Forest Service and BLM land and that kind of stuff, and owned by various land management agencies. And up in the Northwest, where I used to live, there's a few acres up there that are owned by the timber companies. Most of that is public land. It just, the idea to me that a private landowner that is, you know, raising a crop in effect and trying to make money would allow the public to come in and ride on their property. What's the benefit to them? Why do they do it?
Well, you know, actually the way they worked, they were going to close it down about 10 years ago, and the state of Oklahoma made a deal with them, because it's not just the motorcycle riders, it's the hunters and everybody else go out there on that land. And it's almost 700,000 acres right now. It's a huge area.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really big, and they were going to close it down because they couldn't people were, you know, abusing it and stuff. So the state of Oklahoma made a deal with them that leave it open, that the state would charge a land access fee, and the state would get that fee, and then the state would patrol it. So the state rangers, they patrol the land, keep a watch over it, you know, say who can go, they give tickets, stuff like that. In exchange for them patrolling it, this, you know, Weyerhaeuser now doesn't have to patrol it and watch over it, and then we get to ride out there. You get a permit. So as long as you take care
Everything has to be green stickered?
No, we don't have the green stickers here. No, we ride.
Does it have to have a license plate?
Nope.
Huh.
Wow. Nice.
So it sounds to me like the timber company sort of probably said, well, it'd be impossible for us to police this ourselves and keep people out of it. Right. And once people are on it, if somebody gets hurt, they're going to sue us and blah, blah, blah. So we'll manage it as if it were public land.
Yeah, it's kind of like public land, but yeah, they can block off. They have some of it blocked off, not much of it though, and it's just, yeah. And so basically, in exchange, the state takes, you know, state watches over it, and we get to ride it and
nice.
Make sure people don't abuse it.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's just an unbelievably huge area. You can literally get on it and ride for, like I say, I've been riding there 10 years, and every time I go down there, I ride new trails I've never been on before.
Wow.
Wow.
I have a few friends in Texas, and some of them are native Texans. And I always thought, Texas is big, wide open, kind of do as you please kind of place.
Which is all private land.
Yeah, there's no public land in Texas. There's a couple of state parks. And so my friends that are off-road riders and four-wheel drive enthusiasts, you live in this, the biggest state in the lower 48, and there's nowhere to drive because it doesn't exist. Right. And all the guys I know that like to do that want to leave Texas and move somewhere else.
Right. Texas is like a bad place to hunt because it's all private. You get those big hunting leases, and so you go. Yeah, a lot of the guys from Texas come up to Oklahoma because Dallas is not that far from southeast Oklahoma. And so they all come up here to ride because it's just unbelievable. We got us, and then over into Arkansas, same way. It's all the same stuff. Mm-hmm. You can literally, I got guys that get on their dirt bikes, put their camping gear, and they'll ride for like 4 days just camping all out through there, and never hit the Sam Trail, just looping out through there.
You guys may not know. I'm trying to remember the data. I think Nevada, where I live here, is 110,000 square miles, something like that. That number seems to ring with me. So it's a pretty big place, and 86% of the ground in Nevada is managed and run by the federal government. Some of that is military bases, but the majority of it is open to the public. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons I live here. I live 8 miles from the California state line, so there's great outdoor activities in California. It's a bit more restrictive there. Here in Nevada, almost all of our public land is BLM managed, which means as long as you're not really being egregious and breaking any laws, you can pretty much do whatever you want. And it's nice. There's a tremendous amount of undeveloped camping here. I've been out on some of the roads in Nevada and easily going 70, 80, 90 miles an hour on a dirt road for an hour or two and not see another vehicle.
Yeah, you guys are a little different. I've been all through, or not all through, but I've been in a lot of Nevada, and it's different than it is here because here you can't see 200 yards ahead.
Right.
So the trails, when you're riding down a trail, you can't, out in Nevada, I mean, you can see 20 miles, 50 miles, something like that. Here it's all just real cut up with forest, and I mean, big trees overhanging, and you're cutting down through these little trails, and it's just all kind of like riding in the east.
It's not all totally flat there.
Oh no. You get in central and western Oklahoma it is, but not out. Eastern Oklahoma's awesome, man. It's really cool.
Like dirt biking Nebraska.
Yeah. It is, man.
Sounds like
cornfields for days.
Title.
Wheeling through the fields.
We got just over about a minute left on this. What do you guys want to talk about to wrap it up before we say good evening?
We'll get ready for the next one.
And what is the next one? Anybody remember?
The next one is we're going to do much more riding. We're riding across California finally.
Well, I thought it was more shopping, James. That's what I was looking forward to.
Hey, that was pretty cool. We got to do that last day. We did like 10 hours in the saddle or something. We got a lot of riding time that day. Like
375 miles, something like that, from sea level up to 9,000 feet across the state. That was an epic day. I mean, in every definition of the word, it was fantastic.
And I got to chase Andy Listener.
Yeah, and kind of off the record, off the Honda NC700X, when I got to ride the Honda VFR 1200 home, I rode that all the way from Yosemite to Cycle World headquarters. I mean, after riding a more or less entry-level bike and hopping on a 1200cc motorcycle, I mean, that thing ripped. It was so much fun.
You could really tell when those VTEC valves had kicked in, couldn't you?
Oh my God, yeah! I could push it harder than I normally could because it's just like fantastic brakes, and easy to slow yourself down, and that was a fun ride.
I was amazed when Andy said, "Do you want to ride this bike home?" I thought he was joking.
Me too. I was like, "Whoa!" Like throws me the keys. Like,
can't say out of that.
Yeah. You ever ridden one I had a CBR 1000 RR for a long time, and
I've ridden 600s, our brand new R6, and some bikes like that, but never ridden a leader bike until that day.
Yeah, the leader bike. Yeah, leader bikes will smoke that thing.
Yeah.
Real quick, name a couple accessories off of the NC700X.
Espresso machine.
Heated grips, the side
center stand,
tall windscreen.
Rear saddlebag.
The mounting crap on the saddlebag, the 12-volt accessory socket.
The little parts that go over the shrouds that are like the chrome Honda logos.
All those ones I missed.
Yeah. My favorite
Cappuccino
was the
machine.
espresso machine.
Espresso machine.
My bike had that. I guess your guys didn't. That's why I didn't win the mileage challenge. I had extra weight.
What about the bread maker?
That's an aftermarket accessory.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. Pat, who you got? Oh, look at that.
There we go.
That's my son.
Hi, puppy.
Dog points.
That's Brody.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he's been trying to say hello the whole time.
Oh, hi, Brody. Oh my God, he's so cute.
Next time I'll bring both my dogs in.
This is
Nice.
Lee down here.
Oh.
All right, guys. Well, hey, good talking to everybody.
They're gonna
See you
be
next week.
involved.
Thanks, everybody. It was great.
Have a
All
great
right.
night. Thank you,
Take
guys.
care.
See you later.